and welcome to my channel. Well, I love multi-tools, mainly Leatherman. Now this is not a Leatherman. This is a copy of a Gerber, something I got off of eBay. But what I liked about multi-tools when I worked and everything was because I was carrying with me everything, that I thought I would need, like a little mini toolbox. One thing has a little toolbox, has everything you want on it. I found out that the main thing that I like compared to things like a Swiss Army knife and everything is pliers. Pliers were the main thing that I liked out of a multi-tool. Now, I still like the other stuff, but that other stuff could easily be replaced by a Swiss Army knife. Not necessarily one like this, even a smaller one, but I mean, you got everything you need. Screwdrivers, pliers, file. Pick your Swiss Army knife, and it's going to have the gadgets that you feel that you're missing in each day. So, I started off with the original Leatherman Super Tool, and then the 300. I mean, the original one had kind of like square handles up here, and then they started making it more ergonomic, and they started doing everything else. And the final iteration that I had, it hadn't advanced to having a pocket clip and sockets and everything else, was the Wave. I loved that tool. I carried it around. It was well worn. One of the first things I broke on the Wave was the little tiny screwdriver one, because I was using it as a pry thing at work. We had these metal pipes that you would punch a hole through and then fit a valve in. But before you could fit the valve in, you had to get that little sprue, the little piece of metal that punched through. And sometimes it gets stuck. And so you'd have to take something fairly sturdy and pry it. Well, after a while, I broke that one off. But that was the only thing wrong with it. It was broken, that little, tip of that. But everything else was fine. And then one day, because I wear cargo shorts and everything, when I was working in the fiberglass factory, you're taking the diameter of the pipe, the smallest one was 6 inches, but if they go on up to like 20 something, 18 inches was usually the biggest one we ran into that we would make, but in diameter. And it's metal, and it's coiled like a spring, and you had to compress it into like a 1 foot. You're taking like 25 feet and compressing it into 1 feet. So yeah, there's a piston that was pushing this stuff off, but then when it's compressed it far enough, the machine stops and lets go of the pressure, and you've got to pick that can up and hold that thing down and stuff it in there, because there's a bag already inside the can. You stuff it as far as you can down there, and then you get these like baling wire things, and you twist them on there. Well, that ain't easy. That was one of the hardest jobs I had, and it was in the summertime. So what I would do was I would stand up, and I'd put my knee, I'd run one knee right into the thing to help compress it, use my body weight, and then before it could spring back up, I'd get the tie wrap in there. Well, I believe that's where my Leatherman went, because it didn't have a pocket clip on it. I didn't have it on a belt loop, and it must have fallen into one of those cans. So somebody doing construction got a free Leatherman Wave, partially used. But after that, I couldn't afford them. I mean, they were getting expensive and everything else. So I just got this cheap one, but I still missed out on it. And I started thinking, all right, rather than get another Leatherman Wave and everything, which I know I'd probably like, what is the main thing I like about it? Well, I like the pliers. Well, vice grips are good, but you got to adjust them, and move them back and forth and everything. An adjustable end wrench, these are okay, but they don't really grip things. A lot of times with the pliers, I would grab something and pull it away. So, long story short, I went with the Canipix. Now, this is what they call like a water pump plier. But I went with the 125. They make an even smaller one. They have the Cobra XS or whatever. Now, the way these things work is you push this little button here, and you can adjust the jaws. And this thing can open up to, it's like 1.25 inches. It's very lightweight. I'll show you how the mechanism works. But yeah, 13 locking positions. It's a 5-inch. It'll open up to 1 1/16 inch capacity. That's a pretty big bolt to be trying to move with a little thing. But I mean, that's pretty good. Grips any shape. Induction hardened teeth. Now I just tested these teeth. I'll show you what I used to test it on. Built-in pinch guard. I don't know what that is, but that's nice to know. So it says, now these are expensive. They're made in Germany. They're good tools. Mini pliers for working with small components or in very confined spaces. Push button adjustment or carrying in your pocket or a slip. Right? And look how small it is. Fits right in your hand. 125 millimeters. It's like 5-inch, you know. See, 5 inches overall. And it's slender. It's very slender. It's smaller than this. Now, yeah, you're not having everything in one, you know. You're not having the multi-tool thing. But as far as pliers go, these beat Leatherman. any multi-tool you got out there, these things are going to beat that as far as like pliers capability. Now, the way this thing works, there's a little spring here and a little push button. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's just some little teeth right here. Just 2 little teeth. And that allows it to adjust. So it doesn't open as wide as you would think on like a normal set of pliers. But it doesn't have to because it's grabbing it, you know, laterally. Instead of like channel locks would open way wide. And they were more curved on their cutouts. And they would move too. This stays in place when you use it. And as far as the hardness of this, I took this hardened shackle right here. See, and I just took this guy. I closed him up. Like you get to the one, you know, size where it's the most that you can grab it. And I grabbed hard with this and I turned. Alright, guess what's giving? This part. These jaws are fine. I don't know if you can see this. They're all focused up. These jaws are fine. So what that means is these jaws are more hardened than the hardened steel of a shackle of a lock. It's just like that, you know, if you were a Rockwell hardness test any metal and you had a file, it was Rockwell hardness 60, and you go across the metal and it slides, then the metal is more than 60. But if it cuts into it, it's softer than 60. So anyway, there you go. That's all I wanted to say. It's a long ways of getting around this, so it's about the size of, you know, a normal. And it's light. Let's get its weight in here. It's very light, very compact. I'm not the first person to, you know, do this or anything. I haven't reinvented the wheel or anything like that. I haven't come up with something super amazing. It's just for me, from my personal experience, I think these are going to work out better carrying a pliers, because if I I'm always carrying a knife. They weigh 3 ounces. 3 ounces. We got to get to the real grams, not count, not grains. There we go, grams. 85, actually closer to 86. 85.9 grams. So they're fairly lightweight and they're very well made. Now, the only problem with them, if there is a problem, is the expense. They're like $30-something, you know, for these little guys. But my father, when he was in the military, he was a aircraft mechanic, reciprocating, you know, piston engines and also jet engine when he went, you know, through the whole thing. And he always told me, I mean, we always had a lot of nice tools. He worked on cars too. Buy the best tool you can afford, you know, because you're never going to have to buy it again unless you lose it, you know. I don't know if these have any lifetime guarantee or anything like that, but they feel like really well made. Let's see if it says anything about a guarantee on here. I've never had to, don't use it on live circuits. Always wear approved eye protection. So it's got a warranty. You can go there and look at their warranty under Canipix.com and find out what their warranty is. So, but still, yeah, I like this because it fits in your hand. Now, the reason why I didn't get the 4-inch one is because I knew these guys were probably going to be small. It's kind of hard to tell, you know, from pictures on Amazon and everything else and videos, but I knew these things were probably going to be small. And when you're squeezing down on something, you need the leverage. You can't do like a 3-finger thing. And I had to fear that, well, it's going to cut off 1 more inch. It's like 4-inch pliers. And it didn't have any padded stuff on the XS one, you know, the Cobra XS, which may be fine, you know, if you're working on small things, you know, like little computer things and stuff like that. But yes, so I enjoy these. I'm happy with my purchase. Buy once, cry once type of thing. And that's all I wanted to show you, you know. Is, yeah, this guy's a lot heavier. I won't have to weigh him, but he's a lot heavier, and so is this one, and so is this one. And this, I don't know why we're carrying a locker room. So, there you go. Think about that. Now, they make another one. Canipix makes another one that's adjustable pliers. Alright, so it's these faces are smooth, like this guy. But it levers up and down the same way, but when it reaches a spot, it moves the jaws parallel back and forth. Again, those things, you know, they make the 5-inch version, is what y'all probably get. It's about $30 to $40. So, you know, yeah. Tools can be expensive, man. But if you get good tools, they're going to last you forever. Of course, you're going to be pissed when you lose them or somebody steals them, but hopefully that won't happen with this. So, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.